Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 7 of Trillionaire. Between episodes I've made a couple small changes. First of all, if we look over there, we can see that all the infrastructure around the farm is gone. And it now exists here, where it's off for some reason. Yeah, why are you off? Hey, spread mana. I'll figure out exactly why, but I'm still not done with this farm. I've moved our farm out to here in the mining dimension because it is laggy, and as it grows, it gets laggier. I still have to add the rest of the sprinklers here because, as you can see, I made it bigger, and I noticed that apparently your money is per dimension. So I'm going to need to bring an ATM over to here, I guess, and every now and then I gotta come here, write myself a check for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then climb in my armored vehicle and deposit it back in the overworld. Hopefully, I don't get assaulted along the way. Secondly, I've upgraded all of our cabling to this basic universal cable. It says it's universal, it's not like truly universal. It doesn't connect to the rock crusher, so we still need the flux transformer to convert to railcraft power. It also doesn't connect to the buildcraft lasers, so we still need this thing to convert to buildcraft energy. But the big thing is it does connect to IC2 machines. So when we get around to making the matter fabricator, we can power it with RF. Anyways, a couple upgrade kits have finished. I was initially going to use these on the generators to make more power, but right now, because I'm making a bunch of the sprinklers, right, I need a lot of steel. So instead, I'm going to upgrade the induction smelter, and I don't know what else. I guess we'll upgrade one of the generators. But I'm just going to make a whole bunch more of those upgrade kits too. The once upgraded generator produces 90 RF a tick versus the unupgraded one that produces 60. So it's not like a huge improvement, but it also has an extra augment slot for which I will put the increased generation augment, which doubles it. So now one of these is worth 3 of those. This doesn't hurt your fuel efficiency, but you choose to run it in place of the fuel efficiency catalyst, catalyzer, whatever, augment. So, in a sense, you're trading one for the other. But fuel is money, and I have a lot of money, so I would rather want power. Upgrading the farm from 9x9 to 15x15, it's going to be a 200 or 225 total plots, and I think it's like 144 more sprinklers. Thankfully, that's just like steel and stuff, which nowadays is plentiful, so I just have to place all of these. Again, these I don't think work properly when placed by, or let's try it, I guess. I'll try it in this corner here. But historically, at least, they haven't worked properly when placed by... Oh, you can't place them with Builder 1. That sucks. That is a lot of sprinklers, which really is the way things have to be. Anyways, I'm going to refill this manifold with a stack of Black Lotus. It takes about 2 stacks, I think, to fully fill a manifold. In fact, might take exactly 2 stacks to fully fill a manifold. But why is this mana spreader not spreading? Signal is off. It is linked to the pool. Let's just try replacing it. I think I had to do this once. It might not like sending the mana if I'm trying to ask it to send it too far. Which normally mana goes 12 blocks before losing... Yeah, there we go. Before losing like part of the burst. But because I have the lenses, it goes a lot further than that. Anyways, as we can see, 4 drums probably just isn't enough. I can add a few more mana drums, or whatever, drums of the wild. But yeah, now our mana is shooting back and forth. There's wheat popping off, and the lag you see is a lag I see. So it's really bad here. But that's why it's here in the mining dimension now, and we get money from it. So I'm going to add a couple more drums, drums of the wild, to basically, we want to harvest every crop as it grows. So basically, this whole middle row will probably be turned into drums of the wild, honestly. Actually, even better, why don't I put the mana system above, right? The drums have 3D range. Yeah, I'll do that. In order to not waste this half mana pool, I'm just going to put it all in a mana tablet, and then we'll take that with us so that we can put the mana tablet back into the mana pool later. Is that empty? Yeah, it is. A little slow. Well, this didn't work as planned. Apparently the drums don't have much Y level coverage because they're not actually harvesting the plants. Whoopsies. I looked it up, and these drums have a exactly 7 vertical range, so 3 up, 3 down in the level they're on. So if I place it under the farm like this, I think it should work. All I have to do is, well, let's put our lever down. This is our off switch. And then we just need to put a hint of mana in here. Just a hit will do. And go. Alright, based on the extreme amounts of lag, I assume it's working. Just let me out. Advantage of putting it down there instead of like on the side is that I'm now able to fit the entire farm in one chunk. So before I had, one side was just barely sticking out the chunk. Minor things probably doesn't matter at all in the grand scheme of things. But I'm going to check our TPS. Totally fine. And then let this run for a couple minutes again and check see how much money per minute we're making. We're creeping up on the 5-minute mark here. About 15 seconds left. So let me struggle down here. Turn this off again. There we go. Almost as soon as I turn it off, well, the plants stop being harvested, so I stop earning money. And then once the plants are fully grown, I stop lagging. Anyways, what I did was I started a timer right as I turned that thing on, and I turned it off a little bit past the 5-minute mark. But in a hair over 5 minutes, we made a hair over $26,000. So it's like $5,200 per minute. It's not half bad. All right, well, if that's that's what we get, and I can now just leave. Did I pick some up? Hey, I don't want it. Now all I have to do is every now and then come here to the ATM, withdraw my $27,000. In the time it took me to withdraw my check, I paid $500. And then this is where, if you wanted to mug me, this is when you should do it. So take it back through, and then cash your checks before I get mugged. Aha, victory. All right, let's start. Well, I'm going to upgrade the rest of my dynamos, and then we can start working towards the matter fabricator. This ender crafter is killing me, man. I don't know how many alternators this is, 16, and it's still horribly slow. So I'm going to add a whole bunch more, and hopefully it becomes a little bit less horribly slow. I mean, it's twice as fast now. Spoiler. It's still horribly slow. I guess we can just time it about it, right? Does that work? Oh, excellent. Life-saving. Nice thing about having the alloy smelter we built last episode is ender fluid conduits. Ender fluid conduits are just, they're great. I'm going to use them here in place of the your faucet for fluids. When dealing with the smeltery, it's very good to not have internal buffers in your conduits, so you don't, the next fluid doesn't get stuck in there. And that is something that ender fluid conduits don't have, no internal buffers. So, you know what, let's set it this way, active with signal. So lever on is thing on. I've always felt that makes the most intuitive sense, but like half of the machines requires redstone, the other half are requires no redstone, so it can be a little tricky at times. Anyways, now we can just the casting process is basically faster. Right? As soon as it's done, the fluid for the next one gets put in here. I'll do the same here as well. And why stop at hardened here when we can keep going? I have reinforced upgrade kits. I can make signalum and resonant ones later. However, these chipsets that take forever to make. It's 600,000 RF. Remember, it's 10 to 1 MJ to RF. This thing is even longer, and I just don't have enough lasers right now to craft them in a reasonable time. The thing's working as hard as it can. Anyways, it's 240 as opposed to 180 when upgraded. And then, again, another slot for another modifier, or augment, looks up to 360. So 360 times 6 is, I don't know, a lot. Just over 2,000 RF a tick. So anyways, yeah, this thing is making a quartz chipset as fast as it can, which is not very fast. Now that we can transform RF to EU with these universal cables, I actually really like using these IC2 machines because their overclockers are very cheap. You can buy them in the shop, which basically means they're free. Oh, look. Oh, apparently the pulling upgrade is great for decapitating. So we pull from the top, eject out the right. And I have a bunch of overclockers just chilling here. Put them in here, and then we can macerate whole blocks of coal in very good time. I need this pulverized coal because we have to make a whole lot of advanced machine frames. Let's see, 2 for the matter fabricator, 1 for the scanner, 1 plus 3 for the replicator, and another one for the pattern storage. Continuing to add IC2 machines, I made a couple metal formers, 1 for extruding, 1 for rolling, and made a bunch of plates because these advanced casings require mixed metal. So some of that stuff and compress it. These advanced frames take a fair bit of resources input, but resources are cheap. It's really the time that makes them, to make them, that's valuable. We need a couple lasers too. Thermal centrifuge somewhere along the way. So let's make this. And I think, yeah, that's a quest. The thermal centrifuge is used to make the crystal memories because we need to process silicon dioxide here. So let's do that now. Made from clay, macerating clay. Okay. Can we buy clay? That's too balanced, right? We can't buy anything quite so balanced, can we? Didn't think so. We can buy hardened clay. Alas. My first 6 Signalum upgrade kits I finished, and before I applied them, I think there's something wrong with my energy network. My cable buffer isn't filling up, which means the energy is being used somewhere, right? All of my things are empty and producing at max. So where the heck is 2000 RF a tick going? This thing is eating 240. I have a suspicion that perhaps this flux transformer just eats power. Because right now, like, there's no way something is using the other 1800 RF a tick. I have 1 metal former here. It's running, it's very low power. I can just unplug it. And, like, while it empties its buffer quickly, you know, even without it plugged in, our cable network is staying empty, which means the energy has to be going somewhere. My gut says this thing is voiding it. So with that unplugged... Nope, that wasn't the case. Are you voiding it? It looks like this thing is taking in 1.5k a tick, doesn't it? If I right-click it, yeah, it converts all its RF into MJ, regardless of whether or not the MJ is actually consumed, because we're only consuming 24 MJ a tick. So this energy consumer is just voiding energy. That's really obnoxious. Alright, I need some way to limit the energy flow to this, I guess. Blech. Unfortunately, I can't just directly plug into the lasers with these because, yeah, they don't accept any of those energy types. Man, converting energy types sucks. My solution then is to use an energy cell here that has its output set to max 240 a tick. So this thing only receives 240 a tick. It also fixes the problem of this, like, surging in the pipe. Not a loop in this pipe, right? Yeah, I'm not losing energy to, like, a loop in the pipe causing energy loss. I honestly don't know where the energy loss is. Apparently pipes are lossy, though. That or 10 to 1 is not the right conversion ratio. 240 RF, so I have 240 RF going into here, right? If it is a 10 to 1 conversion ratio, I should have 240 coming out, but I only have 16. So I guess it's 240 divided by 16 is what, 15 to 1? I give up. I honestly have no clue how MJs are supposed to work now, so I bumped this up to 320. If we assume a 15 to 1 conversion, this should give me 24 Minecraft joules a tick, which it doesn't. I thought, like, because I am technically exceeding the 16 Minecraft joules a tick mentioned there, if I extract out a second side, does that fix it? Nope, that actually reduces it slightly. From everything I've read, the wooden pipe is 1% lossy, and the golden pipes are 0.01% lossy. So, like, that loss doesn't nearly explain what's happening here. So, look, energy is being lost somewhere. I have no clue where, and this thing, if I give it more energy, will happily just void it all, and I don't want that. So, whatever. I'm done with Buildcraft. enough fighting it. Let's just upgrade our generators. So they're 360 right now. And at the next tier, they're 450, but we can get an augment for 600. It's a lot of power. At this point, I don't actually know if I can run them all at the same... Let's see, how fast do they deplete a piece of fuel? I'm thinking if I need a second crusher. Probably not, but I'll keep an eye on it. Back on the journey to the mass fabricator, I need to fill a fluid canning machine with water. Fill it up all the way, please. And then I think we can... Let's see, I need you in... Oh no, not switch modes. Fluid enrich mode. How do I empty out the output tank? I guess I just empty it. What I want to do is enrich CF powder and put it into the gun. I guess if I just do that, that starts enriching. Let's grab some of those overclockers to speed it up. 7 should be appropriate. Very good. That turns into construction foam. Can I just like do this? Oh wait. It put 2 buckets into there. I have an idea. Switch tanks. Fill. Nope. There we go. Fill tank. Now I have construction foam, and I can use that to turn some iron scaffolding into reinforced blocks. All this is because the pattern storage requires some reinforced stone. And reinforced stone, the process doesn't show in JEI, so I wanted to make sure to get this on camera because it can be a little confusing. Alright, so we get some of, oopsies, some of this stuff, place it on the ground. And each squirt of the CF gun or the CF powder converts like 8 blocks or something. Or up to 8 blocks. Yeah, it depends on, I guess, it uses 100 millibuckets per block. So a full gun can do 80 blocks. Let me get to that one. You can kind of walk through this stuff. It like pushes you around. Let it sit a while and it'll eventually harden into reinforced stone, which is extremely hard. If you are like me and extremely impatient, you can also right-click the construction foam, the reinforced construction foam, to instantly harden it if you have a piece of sand in here. And thanks to Vein Miner, we can just mine this all at once. If we didn't have Vein Miner, it's totally worth investing in something like a exchanging tool of some sort, because mining all of these 1 block at a time, or even 9 blocks at a time with a 3x3 miner, takes forever. This stuff has a couple practical uses. Mostly it is completely blast-proof, or at least darn near completely blast-proof. It survives a IC2 reactor explosion. I suspect it survives a Draconic Evolution reactor explosion. Maybe I'll test that at some point down the line. But yeah, it's very, very strong. Alright, so now that I have that, I can almost make this. I expect our stuff is processed by now. Yep, give me that silicon dioxide. So these donuts hold the replicator patterns. I'll make 2. Alright, that's fine. And then we just cook it. We turn it into a cooked donut. And they are reusable, so technically 1 is all you ever need. Although if you ever have to move your machines, they're like flash drives for your data. Now, the machines can hold them in memory, but if you ever want to move it, you have to store it back on the flash drive. I don't think there's a quest for this. Oh, we get rewarded 1 as a quest. I see. All right. Well, technically 1 is all we need, so I'm not going to bother making more. All right, then that's a pattern storage. Well, next up, a replicator. Oh boy. 1 replicator. That's another part of the quest down. So a scanner and a matter fabricator. All right. This one looks, relatively speaking, easier to make. Yeah, in comparison, a scanner's a walk in the park. All it took was basically a couple advanced components. And the matter fabricator. All right. 2 frames. Oh, the worst part about all this is how deeply nested these recipes are. But once we make this whole setup once. Hey, what is this? Crushed lapis. Once we make this setup once, we can use it to duplicate the frames, which is so much easier than just crafting them. If we, in fact, whoopsies. Let's look in the configs and just see exactly what frames we can duplicate. Because you don't normally get to duplicate frames. That's a specific thing to this pack. So UU matter config, let's see. Iridium is extremely expensive to duplicate, which I find weird because we can buy it. But it's like 3 millibuckets for an iron casing, 10 millibuckets for a thermal frame. This is in millibuckets of UU matter. Like a mechanism frame, it's only 20 millibuckets. It's so cheap. So yeah, seems great. Anyways, just a little bit of crafting left. Last thing, a Lapotron crystal. And actually, this is a large battery, 40 million RF or 10 million EU. Hold on, I need 2 more circuits. I guess I used my 2 circuits in the Lapotron crystal. All right, so that's the basic setup. Let's get it set up. We're gonna need a couple of recyclers as well, so let's make some of those. These make scrap, which is used to improve the energy efficiency of the matter fabricator. Not strictly needed, but it is very nice. Let's, I don't know, go with 8 right off the bat. To feed all the recyclers, we need a lot of cobblestone. So easiest thing for that is the nuclear craft cobblestone generators. 2 a second is probably not enough, so we need 1 compact, 1 per recycler. So I need 8 total compacts, and I really hope this works now. Oh, thank goodness. Crafting with buckets sucks. Crafting with reservoirs suck a lot less. All right, so that's 26. Yeah, still gonna need more than that. Currently in the process of cooking up more graphite. At some point, I'll make an electric furnace, probably. Finally, enough building. Let's get, or enough crafting. Let's get building. So start with the recyclers. 8 of those. We'll give each one its own cobblestone generator. There we go. They do need their upgrades, although we'll put upgrades in later. So recycler, every time it finishes running, it has a chance to produce scrap. You can take literally any item in and produce scrap. Then I want to take that scrap and turn it into a scrap box. So I'm thinking, let's put it on this side. This batch crafter, which is just IC2's auto crafter. I need some way to move items. I think I can make item conduits now, right? Let's use those because I adore item conduits. Oh, item conduits. I don't remember the last time I held you in my hand. Been too long. I miss you. Welcome back. Anyways, we'll use these to extract from here. I should have made the copy paste tool as well. In fact, let's go make one of those real quick. Copy paste conduit settings. The conduit probe requires a little bit of electrical steel, which has to be made in the alloy smelter. The simple one for now. Oh my, I can't even accelerate it that much because it only takes energy in so quickly. This machine is so slow. I need 4 ingots. Save me. But it's worth it because the conduit probe is the best copy paste tool, in my opinion, for conduit settings. Like thermal has one, but it's not nearly as good as this. Anyways, we just have to extract from these. So paste that setting throughout, and then let's go above and around, I guess. We'll insert into here. And I might have to set the recipe before it accepts input. Oh, yep. Oh, it even distributes items across the slots. All right. So this thing's slow, but nothing overclockers can't fix. Let's go buy a whole bunch of overclockers. I think they cost like $100 each, maybe. So I mean, like $100 each, 6,000 for a stack. I can buy 30 stacks right now if I wanted to. Yeah, they're basically free. Recyclers need 10 upgrades to run 1 operation per tick, but I don't actually produce 1 cobble a tick. So I think if I do 9, it's every other tick. And that means basically I don't want the machine to flicker because the machine flickering on and off is a very visually laggy operation. So we'll start with 9 overclockers per. And don't worry about the energy consumption on recyclers, it's very low. I need a different machine or different gadget to tell you exactly how low, but it's not to the point where it matters. Anyways, we'll put some overclockers in this. I assume this is a 1 RF a tick machine by default, which means we can overclock it out the wazoo and it doesn't really matter. Alright, so that makes scrap boxes for us. Cool. Next we have to turn that scrap into UU matter. So that's what the matter fabricator is for. Let's see, do you push? No, we need an upgrade to pull, right? Or push, doesn't really matter. Let's get a pushing upgrade. And we'll push out of the batch crafter into the matter fabricator. So while this thing has scrap, it uses less energy in its crafting process. If it doesn't have scrap, it's still like it can still consume as much energy as you give it, but the ratio of energy to UU matter is much worse. And right now our energy production isn't, 2000-ish RF a tick, right? Or no, maybe it's double that because we upgraded our dynamos. I don't know, but it's not enough to run the matter fabricator extremely quickly. As you can see here, it probably takes it a good, say, about a minute, maybe 45 seconds to get 1 bucket of UU matter. We can make that faster by upgrading our dynamos, and in fact, yeah, these are done. So we can upgrade our dynamos to Resident here. Resident dynamos cap out at 900 a tick with all their upgrades. I think there's no specialization available for these, right? Yeah, everything else is just they can uncharge items, but that doesn't actually produce energy. That just, you can use some uncharged batteries and stuff. But 900 a tick times 4, 5.4 thousand. That's actually more than I believe the basic universal cable can output on a single connection. Although it's close. As you can see though, the progress is definitely faster. And I think right now we produce scrap faster than we consume it. However, as we generate more power, remember the matter fabricator is the ultimate power black hole. It'll accept literally as much power as you give it. So let's leave this here a second. I'm going to put a buffer tank next to it, and then we can start working on the rest of the matter duplication setup. A portable tank will serve as our buffer. I don't actually recall off the top of my head how much it holds. I did enchant it, so 50 buckets, and we can upgrade that if needed. But 50 buckets of UU matter is an absolutely tremendous amount of UU matter. Alright, next machine I'll put here is the Replicator. This is what actually consumes the UU matter to do stuff. So I will put a polling upgrade in this, and this has an internal buffer that's actually quite large as well, like 8 buckets maybe. Again, 8 buckets of UU matter is a lot of UU matter. Then the pattern storage and the scanner. So, did that complete the quest? That did. Nice. The scanner, you put the crystal memory. No, you put the crystal memory into that slot, and you put an item you wish to scan in there. So let's grab some of our machine frames and start scanning them. If we scan, the item you scan is destroyed in the process. So, the first one you lose to get the pattern. What machine frames do I have in here? I'm sure I have something. I need to get organized again. The only machine frame I could find for now was a simple machine chassis. I'm going to confirm that the simple one is actually one of the scannable items. You put an unscannable item in there, it'll like scan it and destroy it, but yeah, it isn't here. It'll scan it and destroy the item, but it won't actually, you don't get a pattern out of it. But anyways, the scan takes a little while. It has to sweep this thing 100 times, and I think it consumes 512 EU a tick while doing it. So it takes it, I don't know, like 4 or 5 minutes maybe, and a fair amount of energy, which is why I have to upgrade my energy to get here. When it's done, we can save it to the crystal memory. The scan should be done by now, and it is. It takes 120 micro buckets. I assume if we convert that to millibuckets, that comes out to 12, right? Micro buckets is 10 to the -6, so we can bounce the decimal point to the left 3 times to get to millibuckets, which is 10 to the -3. Wait. if we bounce a decimal point 3 times to the left, that's to get to millibuckets. Hold on. Micro is... No. Do I have my SI prefixes mixed up? 1 second. No, I think I'm right. Micro is 10 to the negative 6th, and milli is 10 to the negative 3rd, right? So if I save this pattern here, we get the recipe saved, and now we can reuse this crystal memory if we like, or if we have more, we can, you know, save the item. But anyways, later, if we do reuse the crystal memory, we can also, like we have a different recipe on it, we can write it back. So basically, the pattern storage holds it forever, so that's why you technically only need one. But once you have the pattern saved in your pattern storage, if it's adjacent to a replicator, you can just tab over to it in the replicator and hit the go button, and it makes it. And yeah, I think, let's see, we're at 70. Yeah, it is. The unit is in micro buckets, not millibuckets. So 120 micro buckets is a 10th, about an 1/8 of a millibucket. We get 8 machine frames for 1 millibucket of UU matter. I feel like that's a little bit cheap. Let me check this again. If all these units are in micro buckets, then suddenly this... I see. Okay, so the units are not in micro buckets. It's in... It's in tens of micro buckets. I don't actually know what that prefix is. 10 to the negative 4th power. I don't think there is a prefix for it. But so that means iridium ore, actually this is a normal cost, right? We could basically bounce the decimal point to the left twice, and that's the cost in millibuckets. Normal iridium ore costs 120 millibuckets. That means that machine frames are free, dude. Machine frames are literally free. All right. Well, great. I way over-engineered the process of making UU matter, because I was thinking it would take, you know, a couple, like if we wanted to make certain frames, it would take a couple hundred millibuckets to do it. Or like, yeah, like 10 or 20 millibuckets to make a frame. But apparently, if we can get 8 frames for 10 millibuckets, like if I just hit this button, that's how many frames. And look at how slow it's consuming UU matter. Oh, there, yeah. And then we can hit stop once we have, you know, 100 of them. And that's more simple machine chassis than we'll ever use. All right, well, that's good. We have way more machine chassis than we'll ever use. This gives me an idea. Let's scan a basic machine casing. Oh no, we can't do that. Wait, you can't scan basic machine casings? I thought that was on the list. Nope, I guess not. Dang it, so much for my clever idea. My idea was going to be, if we can print these cheaply, we can uncraft them into iron ingots and then sell the iron ingots for money. And I thought I had broken the system. But no, I hadn't. Alas. Anyways, I'm still going to scan the other stuff that we can, so like the actual additions machine frame, the Ender IO, well, I guess we've already done the Ender IO one, the thermal frame, so on and so forth. So far, it seems I only have access to 4 of the machine frame varieties. I time in a bottle the scanner to make it a little bit faster, but it does make it use energy a bit faster than I can pump into it. But anyways, the thermal expansion frame is the last of those 4. For now, only the thermal expansion frame and the Ender IO frame are really a huge pain to make, but, you know, no more. Once we have them scanned... Okay, let me just show you how fast we can print something like this. These sturdy casings, when I hit the go button, we literally get 1 a tick. I guess when we get up to EMC, perhaps this is a good way to make EMC. Then again, you never have a shortage of ways to abuse EMC impacts. So, that I'm not concerned about. Anyways, of all these, I don't even need this many. Let's print 1 stack of each of them for the future. For future use. So a stack of these, stop, stack of these, it's beautiful, I love it, stop. And I guess I've already printed the 4th type of frame, right? Yeah, I just printed those. So we now have a full stack of each of the machine frames, and all it cost us was, well, it cost us those one-time costs of setting up the mass fabricator. But now, like, all the energy, all the UU matter generates, we probably don't need. Because I'll never use it to make iridium. Just buy my iridium. Like 5,000 for a shard? I assume it's 9 iridium shards to turn into a single piece of iridium. I can find it here. Here, I'll just buy one. Oh, 9 becomes an iridium ingot. Are iridium ingots fully... No, they're not fully replaceable with iridium ore. Okay, never mind. There are some recipes like Industrial Craft's iridium reinforced plate that explicitly require iridium ore. And, oh, I guess there's things that can... The crusher can make the ore out of thermal ore, which can be bought? Maybe? Maybe not. I don't know. It may or may not be useful down the line. We'll figure it out. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for now, though, oh, in fact, the thing I bought automatically became an iridium ingot. Weird. But anyways, yeah, I think that's all the time for today. I'm very happy with our progress. Being able to print machine frames will save us a lot of time in the future. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.